The Middle East region is quieter today than it has been in 2 decades. Now, challenges remain. Iran's nuclear weapons program, the tensions between Israelis and Palestinians. But the amount of time that I have to spend on crisis and conflict in the Middle East today compared to any of my predecessors going back to 9/11 is significantly reduced.
Hey there, guys. Welcome to the channel. So don't you just love when old videos of the dumb things that politicians do and say come back to bite them? It usually takes a while, but this one, I feel like we could probably fill most of our days with examples of this from Joe. That's obviously no surprise, but when CNN starts going back to that well, that is something a little bit surprising. So Dana Bash just had the most capable and competent Secretary of State since Hillary Clinton on to grill him about whether or not their new deal with Iran may have contributed to the bloodshed in Israel. Of course, they say no. That's the only thing they really they're sure about is they didn't do it. But then she asked, were you guys unprepared for this? Have you been too busy celebrating your very, very minor and inconsequential successes in the Middle East to actually pay attention to the facts on the ground and what is really happening? They said, of course not. We're not doing that. And then she played this. And good for her. You got to see, guys, what she unearthed from just a month ago. But before we do, guys, thanks so much to everyone that's been subscribing and leaving such great comments. Really appreciate the support. If you guys haven't already, help us continue to grow. Like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. Take a look at this.
Said just 9 days ago.
The Middle East region is quieter today than it has been in 2 decades. Now, challenges remain. Iran's nuclear weapons program, the tensions between Israelis and Palestinians. But the amount of time that I have to spend on crisis and conflict in the Middle East today compared to any of my predecessors going back to 9/11 is significantly reduced.
That obviously has changed dramatically, not just for Jake Sullivan, but for all of you. And this isn't specifically about anything that Jake missed, but more broadly about the intelligence failure, not just by the Israelis, but the U.S. What can you say about that?
Well, 2 things, Donna. First, what Jake Sullivan said was right. If you look at the relationship among countries in the Middle East, you saw, with a lot of work by the United States, countries coming together.
Guys, that's about as much as I can stand to this guy. I'm sorry I cut it off, but the guy's a complete and total disaster. What he basically just said right there was that we have every right to pat ourselves on the back. He says that ever since they shook those Afghan folks off of their airplanes on their way surrendering out of town, things have been great. They've been too busy off killing European evil white people to worry about anything coming out of the Middle East. That's what he said. Let me know in the comments what you see in that video and what you see from these officials, man, because what I see is incompetence, complacency, and maybe even worse than all that. It's starting to look like they just truly don't care what happens in the world. Bob Gates once said that Joe Biden's been wrong on every foreign policy decision of his career. It just is more and more true every day, unfortunately. It's amazing. I knew it was going to be bad. I had no idea the kind of damage that our domestic virtue signaling could do to our allies, could do to their citizens. I don't think we have one competent member of our American cabinet. It's just amazing to me. But anyway, it's sad. It's sad. Guys, that's just my take. Let me know yours in the comments. If you haven't already, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. We'll see you in the next one.